Peace, 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 love, light of healing, peace, love, light of healing, peace to the gods, peace to the earth. Y'all climb on in. Blessings, blessings, family. Climb in the building. We got good news. Super, super good news. Super excited. Very, very good news. Y'all climb on in. How y'all feeling? How y'all doing? Man, we've been super, super busy. I ain't really been getting no rest, so forgive me if I'm looking like I'm sleep deprived, because I am. Peace, peace, guys and earths. How y'all doing? How you goddesses doing out there? What's up, God? Peace, Lord. What's up, Almighty Matthew? Blessings to you, God. Y'all climb in. Climb in. Yeah, I know I ain't been live in a while, man. I've been touring. We've been working. I've been trying to get this book done. We've been like literally grinding. I've been everywhere. So I'm not even home right now. I'm in another state. Then we're going to be in another state, But look, y'all, the website is up and running, y'all. www.yakiawaken.com is up and running. The consultation should be up within a week or two, but you can go on and you can purchase your herbs. It look pretty good, too, so y'all go check it out. Go check it out and make sure that you become a membership, become a member in order to order products. So what we did was you have to upload your ID now, and you have to upload a whole lot of information. That way we can tell that you're not an agent or you're not somebody pretending to be somebody trying to hack the site and shut it down. So, you got to go through a lot of security measures now to actually get into the site. But it is secure, and it's going to be super, super hard for anybody to try to hack in and take us down now. So, go on the site, www.yakiawaken.com. We no longer is doing orders through the emails like we was doing it. There's a lot of people out here pretending to be me, as y'all know it. Look, these Nigerians, they are Nigerians. I got pictures of them. They're now buying dreadlock wigs. Am I lying, Nabi?
Nope.
They're buying dreadlock wigs and drawing a 7 on their face and marker, y'all. And they're FaceTiming y'all. They're calling y'all, and they'll call y'all for like 1 second, and they'll hang up. And then they'll say, I just wanted to show you that I was real. And then y'all sending these people y'all money. That is not me. These are not fake locks. And it's not no marker. This is an actual real tattoo that I wish I didn't even have on my face, y'all. Yes, and we got screenshots of them, and they Nigerians, man. One of them answered the phone doing this. Like people been sending me crazy stuff of people pretending to be me, man. So they inboxing y'all. Y'all know I don't inbox anybody. Y'all already know I don't conduct business outside the website. I would never ask you to send any money through PayPal, through Cash App, or none of that. There's always gonna be an invoice from my company, and we only deal and I don't friend request. No, if somebody's I'm following 5 people. I don't follow nobody but 5 people. I don't friend request. I don't do none of that. If they are reaching out to you, I promise you it's not me. I promise you. They stole my sister's account. Yeah, man. Hey, them Nigerians is crazy. Tattoos can be removed. I thought about removing this tattoo for many years. My homeboy did his, and he got a lot of scars on his face. So I'd rather have the tattoo to remind me of the shameful things I did and stuff, to keep me humble and balanced, than to have them hideous scars on my face. So I'm gonna keep the tattoos on my face. Yeah, man, it's straight Nigerians. And then, look, I end up calling one of the accounts back, and he answered for me. I called from my Instagram, and he picked up. He actually picked up. We just looking at each other. And I just cussed his ass out. I'm like, man, y'all some trickery thieves too, boy. Straight scamming at an all-time high. They need a PhD in scamming, the way they do that. Then another one, he screen recorded like 2 minutes of a video I did. And what he was doing was he was FaceTiming people playing my video like it was me actually talking. So it's not me. So yeah, www.yakiawaken.com. I'm going to put it in there. If it's anything other than .com, it ain't me. It's a lot of fake websites out here pretending to be me as well. Yeah, man, these people is crazy, man. I'm putting it in and I'm going to pin it. Let me pin it. So that's the comment. So we're gonna be in Atlanta. We're gonna be in Atlanta, Georgia, June the 3rd, and we're gonna be at Clark University, Atlanta Clark University, y'all. So make sure y'all come out and see me. Click the link in the bio. Y'all be able to purchase y'all tickets. We almost sold out of all of the VIP tickets. We got a few more left, so get in there and buy them. I'm gonna give y'all a presentation that y'all never seen in y'all life. Anybody that came to see me, y'all already know that we show up and we really, really deliver the knowledge, the information, and give away our herbs and seeds, and we really have a good time just with building with each other and talking about community building and healing. So we're gonna be actually in Atlanta, Georgia, June the 23rd. I'm not gonna be June 3rd, my bad, June 3rd. Click the link in the bio. I think it's the first link. Didn't you put that in Linktree? Now be uploaded in Linktree. It's the first thing there as soon as you go on my Linktree. So just click the link in the bio. For those that's asking about the show in St. Louis on the 22nd, I will not be there. The only show that I did with Keys was the one in Harlem, New York, which I had at the time of my life. That was amazing. A lot of my people a lot of y'all came out to see me. We actually sold that deal out, so I appreciate y'all there. Keys did his thing. That was amazing. Harlem, New York straight showed so much love. They showed a lot of love just like Philly. I didn't know the East Coast had that much love, y'all. Being on the East Coast, going to Philly, going to New York, going to all these different places, man. Y'all show up and show out. Y'all energy is crazy. It's straight crazy, so I appreciate that. The next tour, what's the next one? The next, Nabi, come rap with them. Let Nabi rap with y'all for a minute, and then let's talk. What I'm gonna do is we can do some questions and answers. We can talk about health. We can talk about disease, whatever y'all want to talk about. All right. So a lot of y'all been asking about the tour dates and stuff like that. This is my manager. This is Nabi.
Peace, guys. How y'all doing? All right. Listen, as Yaki just said, on June the 3rd, we're gonna be at Clark University. Get your tickets. It's an awesome venue, 600 seats. We're going to have snacks. We're going to be able parking is right across the street. This is just ideal. You can get there early. I guarantee you get there early, get in line and get yourself together. After that, the next one that I know for sure is going to be Baltimore, and that's Coppin State University, and that's August 26th. That's August 26th at Coppin State University. Now we're courting St. Louis for mid-July. We're also courting the Virgin Islands. We're also looking at Florida Memorial. We have Wayne State, which is in Detroit, and the problem is that the dates. Yaki's schedule. He's filming. He's doing his book. And these venues, these universities that he chose to go to so he can really get to the heart of the people, they have schedules. But we're all working them out. But Wayne State has already agreed. That's in Detroit. We're coming back there. September 23rd is tentatively. San Diego, we're going back to World Beach Center in October. And then in Washington, in December, we'll either be in Washington, D.C. or Miami, Florida. So just stay posted, stay in touch on the lives, and we'll keep you updated. And thank y'all. And y'all listening. It's gonna be great tonight.
So, and I'm gonna try to do 2 in 1 month. So I know a lot of people wanted us to come to Washington and come to Wayne State. So we're gonna try to do Washington and we're gonna try to do Florida in the same month if we can do it. Mm-hmm. Will you be in Chicago the 22nd with Keys? Nuh-uh. So I was never on the whole entire tour with Keys. You know what I'm saying, man? Keys rapped. He wanted me to come on 2 tour dates, and we agreed on Harlem, New York, and we agreed on the 22nd of this month in St. Louis. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I had agreed to. And I told y'all that. So I know a lot of y'all been buying tickets to see me, expecting me to be at 19 Keys, all of them events. But I already told y'all from jump I wasn't going to be at all of them. Now, I will say this. If you already got a ticket, don't get a refund. Go there, sit down, and listen to the information, because there's still some things that you can learn and digest and consume and be able to grow from. You see what I'm saying? And, he present great energy at his lectures as well. So go listen to the information. Go hear the brother out. Go hear what he got to say. So that's what I would say. So still go and hear him out. Come to Canada. We trying to do that. So next year we trying to tour around the other different countries. So hopefully we'll be able to do that next year. So I'm trying to, look, we trying, family, but y'all got to remember, we doing the Netflix, we filming Food Forensics, we filming From Soil to Table. We trying to shoot a whole movie. At the same time, I'm writing a big ass book for y'all, and we touring and lecturing. You see what I'm saying? So I'm super, super busy, family. And we running a clinic, and we trying to open another clinic up in Houston. So, we busy. We doing a lot. Come to Boston. So yeah, so that's another one. A lot of people keep asking for Boston, so we need to get them on there too. Let's look up Boston. We might just have to do 2 in 1 month.
Yeah.
We might just have to do 2 in 1 month. So we looking, y'all. We looking. So other than that, let's see what y'all got. Y'all got any health questions? Talk to me. What we talking about? I know I ain't been on here. I ain't talked about health in a minute. I've been super busy. So let's do it. Is it a way to get a consultation before September? I don't know. I think we booked up until September the 1st, y'all. A lot of people been booking consultations, so forgive me. There's only 2 people doing consultations. That's me and Kawhi, and I can't really get on consultations like that because I'm so busy and I'm touring and I'm doing everything else. So Kawhi usually be handling all the consultations. I taught her everything I know. She's amazing when it comes to healing, so y'all should trust in her. She know exactly what she's talking about, family. But what you can do is the website is so thorough now. You can go in and you can click on herbal assistance and type in the body part that you want herbs for. Pick the desired detox and it will suggest you a whole plethora of herbs. You see that? So we trying to make the site where it cuts down on consultation costs, where you don't even have to buy a consultation because the site is just full of so much information. And then you also can go into the site and click on the search button and search for any herb you want and it'll pop up too. So make sure y'all utilize that healing assistance that's on the homepage up under the video of the clinic. Just type in the information, click on your body part that you want to learn about or that you want some herbal support for, and all the herbs will pop up plus your detox level that you desire. Or you come into Miami. Yeah, so Miami is where we're going to do the classes at. That's where we're going to do the herbal certification classes at. Me and Kawhi is almost done with the herbal certification classes. Once them are done, then that's when we're going to be in Miami. So we most definitely going to do, y'all got my word. We're going to kick off the classes for you to get certified as a master herbalist up under my license in Miami. Open a clinic in DC. If I can find somebody in DC that, you know what I'm saying, that's trainable, that minds act like a sponge and is willing to really, really take on the information and change their perception on healing, then I'm down. Again, like I know I have a very, very unorthodox way of approaching healing. I don't believe in disease. A lot of people do, but I don't. The only reason why I even use the word disease or say the name disease is for a lot of people can actually identify with it. But I think disease, and I know and I have proven that all disease is the body having a miraculous way of healing itself. And these symptoms is the body opening up its NRF2 pathways by way of glutathione and all these other different types of phytonutrients to actually eliminate the organs of the body. And when the body is going through a detoxification or elimination process, it produces symptoms. And then these symptoms, you have been trained by the allopathic community to think that these symptoms are actually diseases. So when you feel these symptoms from all the television programming and being taught by the school programming, you go to the doctor thinking it's a dis-ease when it's the body trying to heal itself. And they give you allopathic pharmaceutical medicines to actually suppress the actual symptoms. So I don't believe in suppressive therapy and I don't believe in dis-eases. I believe that all dis-eases is the body trying to heal itself. And I believe that if we sit back and we let these symptomology pathways do their process and we don't mess with the body and we add things in the body to help the elimination process like herbs. We do deep diaphragmatic breathing to bring more oxygen into the body. We get in the sun, we get into nature, we start drinking teas, drinking warm water, hot and cold, alternative shower therapy, color therapy, red light therapy. I think it's a whole different healing mechanism, a whole methodology of different healing exercises that we can do to actually help the body, go through its symptoms faster. Because remember, the symptoms is the healing. And that's what I was talking about in Harlem, New York, about how a cough is just breaking up a coagulated mucus inside the bronchioles, how sneezing is breaking up a coagulated mucus and particles that's in the nasal passage, keeping things from trying to pass the blood and brain barrier, that mucus layer that separates the brain from the cranial. How a fever is basically the body heating up to kill off bad bacteria. Plus it thins the blood and it brings, the goodies of what we call phytonutrients and bioflavonoids or flavonoids into circulation to go heal up a certain part of the body that has inflammation. and how inflammation is nothing but the localization of dead tissues and toxemias. How a tumor is basically the body stacking a whole bunch of dead cells and toxemia together for it won't enter into the bloodstream or kill the bloodstream. How cancer is nothing but the body choosing to go an anaerobic route because it can't go into a aerobic route because oxygen is being deprived of the body. So the body will give itself cancer and go through a bacteria formation fungus standpoint because the body still needs to produce ATP. So there is like literally, there's not one disease that you can give me with all my studying and all of my research to show me that it's actually a disease. Any disease you can name right now, I can tell you how I can show you a different perspective or a way to look at the disease and be like, hold on, that's actually not a disease. That's symptomology. And that's a way of my body trying to heal itself by opening up elimination pathways like skin disorders. A lot of people think you have skin diseases. I don't believe in a skin disease. I think the only reason why you have rashes and you have the skin manifesting all of these different cytotoxins on the epidermal layer of the skin is because your skin is taking a poop, because your kidneys is not filtrating and your lymphatic system is backed up, swollen lymph nodes. You see that? I think and I know that these are macrophages actually inside of the lymph nodes and bacteria inside the lymph nodes eating and breaking down acidosis. And they eat so many acids that they start to swell. So any disease you can name, MS, multiple sclerosis. MS is actually the so-called immune system, the T cells, the B cells, the lymphocytes, the phagocytes actually attacking acids that's sitting on the nerves. So they will tell you that it's the actual immune system eating away at the nervous system, and they call it multiple sclerosis. But it's actually not the immune system eating away at the nervous system. It's the immune system eating away at the acids that's on the nervous system. And sometimes the nervous system is an innocent bystander and get ate up. You see what I'm saying? Same thing with lupus. There's so much acids that it start attacking the tissues because all the acids have been backed up inside the lymphatic system because the lymphatic system is stagnated and you don't have an elimination pathway. So when acid sits on things, it burns material. So now you see people with lupus, they get weak muscles, they get weak bones, their skin start breaking down. These are the acids that don't have nowhere to go. So the only thing they can do is go through the skin. So all skin disorders or skin diseases is the body taking a poop and eliminating through the skin pores because the digestive system is not working properly, the urinary tract is not working properly, the kidneys is not online, the adrenals is not online, and the lymphatic system is backed up and is stagnated. There is no disease you can name or no disease you can call and you can run down the actual definition that I can't tell you no. We have been taught and trained to look at these things wrong. We must change our whole perception of what actual disease is, because in fact, if we're going to keep it real and we're going to get away from the allopathic programming, disease really don't exist. It's an illusion, and it's your body having a capability to truly heal itself. But we have been taught that these symptoms of natural detoxification is in fact disease, and we take allopathic pharmaceutical medicines for this disease to suppress the symptoms. And the more you suppress the symptoms, the body get more constipated and you get more coagulated and you get more agglutination, and then that's causing cellular death. If y'all get what I'm saying, type in some nines real quick. If y'all get what I'm saying, type in some nines. And I know this a lot. I know it sounds taboo, and I know it sounds crazy to a lot of people. Yes, coffee is bad. Coffee is bad for you. Coffee is bad. Coffee have caffeine. Coffee shuts down the adrenal glands. Coffee is a stimulant. Only time I ever seen coffee being used in a good way, if we can even say that, is when Gerson Therapy was using it to actually do coffee enemas to, basically break up all the pathologies that was inside of the colon wall. So they was using coffees in colonics, using it as an enema to clean out the duodenum and the lower bowel duct wall, because the stomach and the digestional tract and the jejunum and the ecum and all these different valves inside of the digestive mechanism was actually constipated. That's the only time I ever seen coffee beans being used in a good way. But caffeine is a stimulant. Caffeine actually damaged the nerves too. So we have to stay away from caffeine. There's no difference between caffeine and the way nicotine work. It all work as an isolated drug in chemistry when it's being broken down in the body. So if you can, stay away from coffee. If you want true coffee, you can do dandelion coffee. It's literally dandelion root, roasted dandelion roots. Roast them like a tea, roast it like a coffee, and it yields the body a lot of ATP because it causes the cells to burn and draw more energy and more oxygen. And more oxygen produces more carbon dioxide. The more carbon dioxide or O2 you produce, you burn these things off. This O2 turn into H2O. O2 turn into H2O, and this is used as water. This water is then used as fuel for the body to produce ATP. And I tell y'all about this all the time, that the body main purpose is to produce energy. I don't care what you're doing in life. Your body main purpose is to consume and eliminate. And the only reason why the body is consuming and ingesting is for it can break these things down and yield the phytonutrients from it. For these phytonutrients can break down into energy. The body needs energy. The body breaks everything down into sugars, even its proteins, y'all. And the more and more I keep talking about this, give it 10 years, you're going to start finding this in your new textbooks at your colleges. The body take everything and break it down to sugar. Sugar is essential for the body. Natural sugar like fructose and glucose and galactose is essential for the body because the body needs energy. Without energy, you don't have any signal to your cells. Without any signal to your cells, you don't have movement in motion. Without movement in motion, this is how you become clinically dead. We need energy and vitality and power to live our everyday life. That's the whole point of the breath. The breath is to breathe in oxygen. The oxygen then is converted into carbon dioxide. Right? Carbon dioxide, really carbon monoxide. But what happens is when these things mix together, the body creates something called hydrogen peroxide. That is called H2O2. Then H2O2 actually connects with something called O3. O3 breaks off and become a singlet oxygen cell. This singlet oxygen cell start binding to chemistry in the body. And then that's when you actually go through your Krebs cycle. The mitochondria start buffering out these things. This carbon dioxide turns into water. This water is then broken down and used as essential fuel for the cell can burn off this fuel as energy. Oxygen is vital. All so-called disease is when the body is not getting an adequate amount of oxygen. And that's why we're talking about healing. So there's no disease you can name to me. Because again, I don't believe in the concept of disease. I believe that it's the body trying to heal itself. Well, what is the body trying to heal itself from? The deprivation of oxygen. Now, the question you have to ask yourself is this. What is actually depriving oxygen from the body? All right, you got 5 things. The first one is anti-nutrient dense foods. You have to eat food that is full of dense nutrients because we need the nutrients. The nutrients don't only build up the molecular structure like amino acids, but these things are actually used as vital fuels and minerals to keep electrolytes in the body. Why do you need electrolytes in the body? That is your electricities. These are what you will call your negative ions, what you will call your electrons, your protons. These things we need in the body because they make energy more efficient when it comes to the mitochondria and the DNA that's within the mitochondria. You see that? The first one and the next one is hydration. We need to make sure we drink an adequate amount of water, whether we're talking about H2O or H3O2. You need them. See that? Because you need electrolytes. The third one is staying away from mucus and acid forming foods because all these things deprive the body of oxygen. Then we're talking about the toxic environment, all the pollutants, all the emissions, all the fossil fuels is being burned. If you truly, truly want to heal your body, you will have to create an actual environment that's going to heal the body. And then when you talk about all the 4 things I just mentioned, all of them equal the deprivation of oxygen to the cell. And that's why you can go without food I know people out here that are straight breatharians. They go without food for up to a year, eat something small and then go back to just breathing. I know people that's liquiditarians. All they do is drink water. So you can go without food. You can go without water. You can go without all these so-called essential things. But guess what you cannot go without? You can't go without oxygen. You need to breathe. Even your most pro athlete swimmers that can only hold their breath. The real record I seen was probably like 8 minutes. After that, you dead as a doorknob. Showing you how essential oxygen is because you breathe to burn fuel to gather ATP, adenosine triphosphate. triphosphate. Adenosine triphosphate is used as a ignition to fire off a cell. If your cells is not firing off, it's called apoptosis. This is cellular death, or cellular meiosis. This is cellular division. You see that? Or cellular mitosis. This is another cellular division. So we talking about this on a cellular level, y'all. So you have to create an environment for your cells to thrive in. So if oxygen is the main essential fuel that it needs to keep the body in a balance of homeostasis, then in order to truly, truly heal the body, you need to bring the body oxygen. Now, the things that bring the body oxygen needs are H2O2, which is natural hydrogen peroxide, not food grade hydrogen peroxide or hydrogen peroxide you get to the store. Your body naturally produces H2O2 that is actually converted in your body. Another one is O3, or what people call ozone 3. Not ozone 3 therapy that you're getting from a machine. I'm talking about being able to manipulate matter of oxygen and do diaphragmatic breaths and pull that O3, literally that oxygen 3 molecule from the atmosphere and convert it over in your body. You see that? The third one is H3O2, which have 3 hydrogens and 2 oxygens. See that? Then the last one on the chain to me would be H2O. So the highest one is O3. After you got O3, you got hydrogen peroxide, H2O2. After hydrogen peroxide, H2O2, you got H3O2. After H3O2, which is this oxygen that you actually get from your fruit juices, then you got H2O. You see what I'm saying? But a lot of us don't know how to breathe properly to even draw in O3. So you have to learn deep diaphragmatic breaths. You have to learn fire breathing, dragon breaths. You have to learn mindful breathing, consciously breathing throughout your day. See that? Secondly, once you do that, you start breathing properly, the convergence is going to automatically convert over into hydrogen peroxide. Now you're producing the adequate amount of H2O2. And H2O2 in the body is amazing because it binds to toxemia and it breaks down toxemia. Have y'all ever seen hydrogen peroxide poured on a sore and all them bubbles that pop up? Them bubbles that pop up is actually oxygen and hydrogen, and it's going through an oxidative phase in the body. It's killing bad bacteria and it's killing carbon dioxide and all the things that you don't need inside the molecular structure. The next one is H3O2, which have 2 oxygens at the end and then actually 3 atoms of hydrogen. This stuff goes through something and converts to H3O. This is a jelly structure, this structured water that holds memory. This memory is very intelligent and it can clean the body and open up the NRF2 pathways inside of your cells. The whole thing is to go through your life, even if you're dealing with toxins. How to mastermind the body is to understand, okay, whatever I accumulate, I have to eliminate. If I consume it, I have to eliminate. My body is made of 150 trillion cells. Each of these 150 trillion cells have organelles. These organelles have a digestive system. They have their own endocrine system. They have their own liver. They have their own catalytic catalase, enzyme reactions in it. It have its own brain called the membrane cholesterol crystals. These calcite crystals that's in the cholesterol is called the cellular membrane. It have its own bladder system called the vacuole. It have its own skeleton called the cytoskeleton reticulum. Like the cells have organelles just like your body have organs. So if you're eating something on a macro level, you chew it and it breaks down into a micro level, and then your cells actually eat these things by way of the bloodstream. The blood transport all of these phytonutrients to the cells. The cells then pass it over through a lipid layer called a receptor. Once it goes onto the receptor, it's like a key. It opens up the cell. The cell open up and allow all of these phytotoxins and all of these phytonutrients in. Once the cell eat these things, the cell have to poop just like you have to poop when you eat something. The only difference between you and your cell is you have legs and you are able to actually go to the bathroom to defecate. Your cells defecate on top of itself, and you have to leave it up to the lymphatic system to roam around in the cell to pick up all the coagulated mucosa plaque that's been built up, all of the metabolic waste and byproducts has been built up, and then it goes through something called lymphatic vessels, and then you urinate it out or you poop these things out. What's happening to us is we're not bringing a lot of oxygen in the body because oxygen is the only molecule that takes the cells through all these different mechanisms to produce the type of enzymes to break down your food. For instance, inside your cells, you have something called a ribosome and the exosome. The ribosome and the exosome inside of your cells produces something called hydrochloric acid. Like how your stomach actually mixes, it's called mucoglobulates, right? This stuff mixed with something called pepsinogen. This creates hydrochloric acid for your stomach can produce an acid to break down your food. You have something called exosomes and lysosomes inside your cells that actually produce acidic acid too that breaks down the microfoods that your cells have eaten. Well, without oxygen is used as a catalyst to actually in an enzyme to turn these certain enzymes on for the digestive system of the cell, which is exosome and lysosome to break down the food that the cell eat. So this shows you with the lack of oxygen or oxygen deprivation to the body, the cells cannot break down this food. You see that? Not only that, once the cell breaks down the food, the cell need a pathway to go out of. You have many different pathways. You see that? You got acetylcholine pathway where acetylcholine or acetyl-CoA open up a metabolic pathway for your cells can go over into the interstitial fluid. You have something called the NRF2 pathway where certain enzymes that open up a pathway for your cells can actually take a poop. You have the mitochondria pathway where the mitochondria act as the respiratory system and it will breathe out all the cytotoxins of the cell. Well, every different process that I'm talking about where the cells can actually clean itself and eliminate itself, it needs the oxygen molecule. Without the oxygen molecule, your cells are just eating and pooping on itself and it can't release the toxins from the metabolic processing or the metabolic waste that is built up by eating the phytonutrients from you eating food. So cellular constipation because oxygen for real, because the oxygen deprivation is your so-called disease. But the reason why I don't believe in that because the body is so smart that it will take an alternative route of elimination. The shit just start doing its own thing. It's like, okay, well, since this not going to work, I'm going to go through a state of fermentation. I'm going to go through an anaerobic way. I'm a ferment. I'm going to go through a lactic acid way. I'm going to go through a citric acid way, and I'm going to use the bacteria. And the bacteria is not going to produce ATP, but I'm damn sure going to produce ADP and AMP, which is adenosine monophosphate, adenosine diphosphate. So even though it's not a triphosphate that's going to bring you your highest yielding energy, it's still going to bring some type of energy. But you got to pay the cost to be the boss. So for burning this, it's going to cause fermentation. Fermentation is when the body start building up lactic acid and start building up mucus. Mucus and lactic acid becomes like a fungus. And this is where you get pleomorphic bacteria from. That's how you look. Everybody thinking all these bacterias and all of these worms and parasites is coming from outside of the body. Yes, you can get parasites from dogs and get them, from different bacterias and different living mammals outside of your body. But look, 98% of them come from within your own cells. It's called pleomorphic bacteria. And your cells produces these own thing through something called the granule. It's a granule in each of your cells. And depending on the state that your body is in, right? If your body is in an acidic state, something's going to have to eat the acids. So the body will produce and create more bacteria because bacteria was created to eat what, y'all? Acids. So if you got an overpopulation of bacteria in the body, the allopathic community is going to say you have a bacteria infection. But it's not an infection. The bacteria is overculturalized to do one thing and one thing only, to eat the acids because you are basically suffering from metabolic acidosis. So they will give you an antibiotic to kill the actual bacteria when the bacteria was there to do a job. So they called the good thing in your body a disease when it wasn't a disease at all. The only reason why the pleomorphed and overpopulated was to eat the acids because that's what its job is. That's why Yahweh created it for, to keep the body in a balance of ma'at or homeostasis. So their whole ideology is to kill the symptomologies. Our whole ideology is to promote the symptomologies to heal the body. It's totally different. We don't kill symptomologies or we don't suppress symptoms. We promote the symptoms. I'm trying to bring you into a cold or flu-like symptoms. I want your ass coughing. I want you sneezing. I want mucus coming out of your butt, coming out of your vagina, coming out of your penis, coming out of your eyes, coming out of your nose, coming out of your ears. I want to see dandruff. Because that means that the body is now properly eliminating itself. I want to see your skin getting rashes and your skin breaking open. I want to see that because that means that your body want to heal itself so bad that it went through something called a fontanelle, an alternative route of elimination. Whatever the body does not eliminate, it accumulates. And whatever accumulates, it coagulates. And coagulation of cytotoxins in the body will deprive the cells of oxygen. The lack of oxygen is what's killing our asses because it's forcing our body to take another way to stay alive. And this is called an anaerobic process. This anaerobic process births all types of different pleomorphic bacteria. These pleomorphic bacteria can morph into Fasciolopsis bucci, which causes herpes, and HPV, Papillonius virus, which causes cervical cancer. Yes, and all your cancers are dealing with pleomorphic bacteria. And if you actually take a cancerous cell and you biopsy that cell and put it under a microscope, you will see pleomorphic bacteria inside of the cells eating all the organelles out of the cells. That's why they say all diseases is associated with a parasite. But is the parasite the issue? No, the parasite is trying to heal the body. Because guess what the parasite is eating? The cytotoxins, the waste. Now, again, a parasite is a living organism. So that means if the parasites eat, guess what? The parasites have to take a shit too. These are called cytotoxins from parasites, which are more acidic and more deadlier than the cells taking its own poop. So the body is trying to heal itself. You're not changing your diet and you're not changing your environment for your cells can bring on these symptomologies for you can eliminate what you accumulated. So what's happening is bacteria pleomorph out of the actual cells, start eating acids. Mistakenly, it eats other shit like organelles and start eating your iron and start binding up calcium and other different chemistry like magnesium and zinc. So you're going to go to the doctor. They're going to say you're a mineral deficient. So we have to quit saying, okay, give me minerals. No, what is causing my mineral deficiency? Usually it's either you lack the uptake inside the duodenum, this 9-inch intestinal tract called the duodenum of the duodenum, where the bacteria take these minerals and take it into the bloodstream by the villi of your stomach, or it's the bacteria eating the shit because the bacteria is eating what the acids is on, and just so happen you going through metabolic acidosis, so it's acids all over your damn minerals. We are looking at disease wrong, family. We are. We are looking at disease wrong. And I know it's a lot of people on here that think this is bullshit, but it's not. It's not. And we have plenty of paperwork and plenty of healing testimonies to prove it. There is no such thing as a dis-ease. Unless you're talking about dis-ease in the sense as energy is not flowing properly through my meridian pathways or throughout the conveyance of my body. That's the only thing that I would call dis-ease, where energy is not flowing properly because you have obstructions. And usually the obstructions is acidosis. And whenever you put the body in an acidic medium, you can try this anywhere. Sit an apple out too long. What happens to the apple? It starts to ferment. Sit bread out. What happens to the bread? It starts to mold. Sit a piece of leaf out. What happened to the leaf? It starts to oxidize and turn brown. These are living things that starts the process of decay. Nothing live forever. Energy have to be exchanged. It have to pass on. Your cells is living things. They have to die. What is there to take it through is breaking down, decaying process. It's pleomorphic bacteria. Fungus. Can't none of y'all asses beat fungus. Nobody can beat fungus. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Straight up, you came from the ground. This myso network, this mycelium network, this mycorrhiza network, and your ass is going back to the mycorrhiza network. The whole thing is how to stay alive longer is to slow down that decaying process. Only way to slow down that decaying process from ashes to ashes and dust to dust, that little bitty dash we got between that shit, is by having the most oxygen as possible within the molecular structure. It's just so happened that we got some evil motherfuckers running this world that understand this concept that they create, and everything they do is to suck oxygen from you. That's how important oxygen is. Yes, you come from the mushroom, your ass going back to the mushroom. Think about any disease. Look at it. How do it express itself? It all expresses itself as a fungus. You know how many books talk about how fungus is cancer? How many books talk about how candida leads to herpes? How herpes is actually associated with candida albicans, and candida albicans is these little fungus motherfuckers that go through and ferment and break down your food? Associated to fungus. Look at your scab and how your scab over. That first layer, if you pick that first layer, take it to a fungal inspector. It's fungus. Your body produces this shit naturally. Fruits do it. Vegetables do it. Every living thing does it because nothing lives without the mycelium network. You are more biologically connected to mushrooms in the fungal network than you are plants. I'm trying to tell y'all this. Y'all not understanding Candida is a fungus. Bacteria vaginosis is a fungus bacteria. Cancer is a fungus bacteria. These are pleomorphic bacteria that go through a pleomorphic cycle. It starts off as a fucking mold spore and it goes through 16 phases. It's supposed to only go to 3 and then it pleomorphs back into the granule of the cell. But if you are living in an acidic environment, it's going to change it to pleomorph to be able to break down and decay the cells, for the cells can go through something called apoptosis. These same bacteria I'm talking about, actually, some of their cytotoxins is called growth hormones. The growth hormones is used to buffer and to create cellular division for you can give birth to new cells. You can't even have new cells without these bacteria. But notice, it's a war on bacteria. Infection diseases. It's a war on viruses. But the last time I checked, most of your viruses starts with inside of the body. When the exosomes and the lysosome do not break down the cells properly, it creates a fragmented protein. These fragmented proteins become free radicals inside of the body. If you look at a fragmented, unstable protein, by definition, that is a fucking virus. And you go to any type of Google and all you have to do is type in is viruses living. They're going to tell you it's not. But then go to archaea and then go to viruses, go to bacteria and go to fungus. All of these are so-called living entities that come from inside the molecular structure. So what is a virus then? It's a protein. What is protein made of? Amino what? Acids. So it's all going down to the base chemistry. It's all talking about acid blowbacks. Get rid of the acids, you will start bringing in more oxygen. But it's impossible to get rid of acids because your body functions in an acid medium. Hydrochloric acid breaks down your food. Deoxyribose nucleic acid makes up your DNA. Ribose nucleic acid gives birth to new cells. Lactic acid is what I'm sweating out right now just by freaking breathing. Carbonic acid is what most of your fruits break down into when you eat fruits. Uric acid is what you break down into when you're eating all these other different foods that you're not supposed to be using. Urea is a form of uric acid, what you urinate out in your toilet or in your commode when you get up to urinate. So you can't miss the acid ash blowback. Then on top of that, we're in the most toxic acidic environment ever called America. So the only thing you can do is detox. The only thing you can do is hope that you have these symptomologies that I'm talking about. You should be wishing for a cold. You should be hoping for a snotty nose. You should be hoping for a cough, for a sneeze. You should be hoping for diarrhea, for you can get all that toxemia out of your intestines. You should be hoping for skin rashes, for your poop can be going through a fontanelle, for you can get rid of all of that shit that's built up inside of your bloodstream because your lymphatic system is stagnated and backed up. You should be hoping for swollen lymph nodes, for you can know that your lymphatic system is actually working and the macrophages inside your lymphatic system, inside these lymph nodes are actually eating the acids and the acidic metabolic waste that's blowing back in your body. You should be hoping for dandruff, showing you that your skeleton, your actual cranium is spelerating all of these different mucuses outside the brain. You should be hoping to wake up with boogers in your eyes. It's better out your eyes and sitting on your irises. That shit is called cataracts and glaucoma. But they give you mucus X. Suppressing mucus. They give you cough syrup, suppressing your cough. They give you allergies like Claritin, suppressing your sneezing mechanism. They give you things like Benadryl to put all the cytotoxins back in the bloodstream and back in the skin. Everything they do is to suppress the symptoms of the body healing itself. You don't believe me because you have been programmed due to transgenerational epigenetic inheritance. This shit was taught to your actual ancestors and it's been trickling down to you. Where you get these symptoms and instead of thinking outside the box and changing your perspective, you would think that you actually are going through a dis-ease or you're going through a heartache or you're going through a disorder. And if you don't fix these things, you're going to die. No, let this stuff run its course and it will blow your mind. Just saying. It's time for us to change our perspective of dis-ease. It is. There is no dis-ease you can ask me about right now And I can change your perspective to show you it's not what they taught you. It's the body healing itself. These are the facts. Y'all can be on here laughing. Y'all can be on here talking shit, not believing. But y'all are the ones that's keeping the other people oppressed. You honestly think that you, born a slave on your own homeland, was tricked into believing that this is not your homeland. You was tricked to believe that you were actually from the continent of Africa when your black ass is from the Americas all alone. They tricked you out of your identity. They tricked you out of your language. They tricked you out of true education. They tricked you out of your history. They tricked her out of her story. They tricking the earth. They tricking everything. They capitalize off of you being deaf, dumb, and blind. It's called a sensory deprivation tank. Mentally, you're in a deep state. You're in a sleeping state. And to keep you asleep, they keep you on drugs. They keep you on medicines. They keep you on junk foods. They keep you on chlorinated water full of all types of fluoride to calcify your pineal gland, which is your first eye, not your third eye. They cloak the skies. They spray the skies with all types of metals that you cannot ingest. They doing everything to keep you asleep because you are their number one consumer. Why, if you making me trillions of dollars a year and I get to rob the earth and sell you earth, sell you oil, sell you natural gases, sell you natural water, sell you natural foods, deprive you of these things, tell you you can't go no fucking where, like you are not a natural abiding citizen of God. Not of man, but of God. You was created by God. You have to have a passport to lead a fucking country. Everything you do is under tyranny. You telling me that they gonna teach you something that's gonna set you free? Not only no, but hell no. So we know that the slave master never taught the slave how to make himself free because it wouldn't benefit the slave master if he didn't have no fucking slaves, then why do you think the way they taught you disease is correct? Y'all admit, yeah, they taught us the wrong education. They taught us the wrong history. They taught us the wrong foods. Y'all asses will admit to everything that's been taught wrong, but the moment they get to diseases, they got that shit right. Do that sound right now, B? No. That ain't sound right. The moment they get to sickness and disease, they hit that on a nail on the collar. Did you know over 594,000 people die every year by the hands of the allopathic community? 594,000 people die annually by pharmaceutical drugs and medicines. Yes. The real war on drugs need to be that. Do y'all know how many people die by the mishandling of doctors in hospitals doing surgery? By the overuse of anesthetics, putting people to sleep, and niggas is not even waking up? You have been lied to. Your concept of education is wrong. Your concept of history is wrong. Hell, your concept of the way to look at the shape of Earth is wrong. Your concept of the way to count the constellations is wrong. Your concept of what the moon and the sun actually is wrong. Your concept of disease is wrong. Your concept of food is wrong. Just 15 to 20 years ago, we thought milk was good for the bones. Now we finding out that milk actually stripped the bones of calciums. Just 20 years ago, we thought staring at the sun would make you go blind, but really staring at the sun at the right times of day actually stimulates the pineal gland. You see what I'm saying? Just 20 years ago, we thought this was good for you. Now there's so many different articles coming out showing that this shit is causing all types of ADHD, autism, cerebral palsy, barrel palsy. Shutting down your immune system, so-called immune system, because that's another thing they taught us, an immune system. Where the fuck is the immune system? I haven't found it yet. When I check on the immune system, I see T cells. These are thymus gland cells that come from the thymus gland. I see B cells. These are bone marrow cells that come from the bone. I see macrophages. These are actually macrophages, goblet cells that come from the lymph nodes. I see neutrophils, I see basophils, I see monophils. All this come from the lymphatic system. But let's teach them about immunity. Let's teach them about antibodies, titers, and all this bull crap. They done taught y'all that an antibody indicates that you have a disease. All an antibody indicate is that you have cytotoxins built up in the body. Anybody got metabolic waste built up in the body have high antibodies. They done gave you this whole antibody theory that haven't been proven. This whole germ theory that haven't been proven. Whole viral theory that haven't been proven. We talking about the practices of these are theories that y'all can't prove. The body is miraculous, man. The body is amazing. The body have a capability of healing itself. You just been bamboozled and taught that the capability in the body taking action to heal itself is an actual disease when it's not. You know what the disease is? The disease is your fucking mindset. That's the disease. You know what the parasite is? The parasite is your mindset. That's the parasite. You know what the imbalance is? The imbalance is our mindset. We have to get that back. It starts here. If we don't grab this and we don't change our perception and how we looking at reality, if we don't get out of the tutelage and out of the laps of these so-called philosophers and teachers that is never meant to do us well, we're going to be in the same reoccurring cycle. It's time to change our mindset. Change your mind, then your body will follow. You see that? How to manipulate matter is through a signal. The signal comes from the mind. We got to get out of these people's environment. They have built a matrix and stuck our asses in it. Everything is artificial. Artificial food, artificial air, artificial toys. Even the toys are artificial. None of your toys, none of your superheroes, none of your Barbie dolls look like you. It look like our what? Oppressors. Artificial food, artificial air, artificial noise. All this white noise. You think it's natural to open up your door and to hear honks, horns, cars, and to smell emissions? That shit ain't natural. You think it's natural to open up your door and look and it's 2 trees within a 5-block radius? That's not natural. You think it's natural to walk on concrete all day? You already got freaking shoes on that is keeping you disconnected from the electrical magnetic grid of the earth. You scared to even take your shoes off. You've been taught taking your shoes off is dusty. It's savage. It's primitive. You have been disassociated with your body. You have been disassociated with your health. You have been disassociated with spirituality. You have been disassociated with your language. You have been disassociated with your land. You have been disassociated with your customs. You have been disassociated with your traditions. But they got disease right, though. They got disease right. I mean, we really, really, really got to make this make sense. So I'm just asking y'all to listen to me. Just really, really, really close your eyes and think about this. What if I told you that disease is only an illusion? What if I told you that the body was special, it was peculiar, and it can miraculously heal itself? What if I told you that 97% of your so-called diseases is food related? What if I told you that there's really no such thing as genetic diseases? These are passed down traditions. What if I told you there was no such thing as a so-called incurable disease? What if I told you that it's the medicines that's actually killing you? It's not the symptoms. The average person that get diagnosed with cancer, and I'm talking about stage 4 cancer, without the allopathic treatment, they can live to 12 to 24 years before the cellular structure say, I'm in too much excruciating pain, the acid is being too systemic, and I gotta leave this body. 12 to 24 years before death, without chemotherapy, without all these treatments. What if I told you? What if I told you that history is a fucking lie? What if I told you that we can't find no motherfucking slave ships from Africa to here? Where is they at? We see every fucking thing inside of all these museums. And we see what they got in the Vatican. We see all of our books. Where is these ships? Huh? What happened? What if I told you that the slave trade was in reverse? We didn't come from Africa. Niggas got taken from Americas and went to Jamaica. Niggas got taken from America and went to the islands, went to Barbados. Niggas got taken from America and was sent to Africa. What happened if that happened? What happened if the maps is actually switched and flipped upside down? What if I told you that the positioning of these fucking maps is a lie? You can't prove me wrong because your ass ain't been to the top of the world. How do we know where we at? How do we even know this is America? Who told you that? Oh, they told you that. How do we know that up is down and down is up? Maybe this is fucking down and this is up. Like, you have to start questioning everything. Everything. Because who you've been taught by only benefit from you being deaf, dumb, silent, and blind. Spiritually, mentally, and physically. And the moment that you're not deaf, dumb, silent, and blind, the first thing they do is they try to assassinate your character. If that don't work, they start pulling down all of your shit off the web. If that don't work, they start hacking your websites, pulling you over, cutting your brake lines. If that don't work, they start following you, start scaring you, trying to manipulate you. If that don't work, they create false charges and throw your ass in jail, and they never give you a court date. And usually, you die in jail. Story sound familiar? Too familiar, huh? The cycle keep repeating. Keep repeating. Let me guess, them niggas was stupid and dumb too, huh? They didn't know what they was talking about either, huh? They just making up shit. They just make, huh? Dr. Sabi just making up shit. He just gone. Dr. Layout, he just gone, huh? Huey P. Newton, he just gone, huh? Fred Hampton, he just gone, huh? Rashad Jamal, he just in jail because he did a crime, huh? Y'all better wake the fuck up, man. Y'all better wake up. Most definitely free almighty shot of Rashad Jamal. You know what we doing, family? We taking a stand. We are healing the illusion we call disease. That's what we doing. And we gonna stand on it. We gonna stand on it. Malcolm X, he was wrong too, huh? Dr. Amos Wilson, he was wrong too. RIP to all these soldiers. Dr. Blair, he was wrong too, huh? Dr. John Henry Clark, he was wrong too. He was wrong. Why do every Messiah, black Messiah that come down here and try to free y'all, why do y'all discredit them? Why do y'all challenge them so much? Why don't y'all just research what we saying? Y'all will run to the oppressors, smile in their face, wave their degrees around like it's a fucking badge of honor when it's actually a disgrace. Because you get a get out of jail free card by your oppressor. A pat on the back when the rest of your people still mentally enslaved. You think the slaves looking at you like you better? No, they looking at you like you done compromised. It's time to free our minds, family. It's time to free our minds. Any questions? Any questions? Use coconut oil for pulling and healing cavities. Coconut oil is very, very good for pulling and healing cavities. A lot of people don't even have the mouth strength to do that for 25 minutes a day. On the average, you have to do it from 15 to 25 minutes a day to even start pulling the cavities out. So a more quicker way is to make your own tooth powder. I have a tooth powder on my website that's $40, or I'll give you the ingredients and you can make your own. You will use neem powder. You'll use white oak bark powder. You will use myrrh powder. You will use fresh clove powder. And you will use sodium bicarbonate, or what they call baking soda without aluminum. Mix them all together in equal parts and use it like a toothpaste that will heal your mouth, that will heal your cavities and everything. It might stain your teeth, though. It stained one of my teeth. But I mean, I don't have no cavities or nothing like that. So that's what you would use. Make your own tooth powder. If you don't want to make your own tooth powder on top of oil pulling, still do oil pulling. And if you want to get the stain off your tooth, which I don't care to get mine off, put some activated charcoal in there and that'll get the stain off. All right. It's called Tooth and Gum Restoration on the website, or you can make your own. Get you a bamboo toothbrush. Make sure you get that bristle, the bristle does not have pork or stuff like that on it, and brush your teeth. Do it 3 times a day. And on top of that, oil pull for 5 to 10 minutes a day with virgin coconut oil, and you will restore your whole mouth. And I just learned something unique too, y'all. I didn't think about this. I've been using cloves all my life, been using cloves to heal my mouth, but chewing on actual cloves, just chew them like it's gum, suck on them. I learned that this for the last 2 days. It's amazing for your mouth, man. Amazing. Just chewing on cloves. Just like how you chew on the licorice root to clean your teeth. Chew on cloves. Amazing. Amazing for the mouth. Can pregnant women use it? Yes, pregnant women can use the Tooth and Gum Restoration. And the website is still being built. It's up, y'all, and it's functioning. It looks good. It worked properly. It's a lot of stuff that haven't been finished on it yet. Yaki TV is not finished on there. Consultations are not finished on there. We even have a whole pregnancy report page where it shows you the herbs you can take when you're pregnant, when you're not pregnant. That's not done yet either. So just give us time. But you can go on there right now and order, y'all. www.yakiawaken.com. Yes. How to heal white flash in the eyes. White flash how? Are you getting flashes, or you seeing floaters? Or you talking about white floaters that's in the eyes? That's usually a breaking off piece of your iris, or you dealing with parasites. So you have to explain that one more. Yes, the website was down for super long. My website actually got hacked, y'all. It got hacked, man. It really did. How to fix the gut and detox fast. The best way to fix the gut is going on a fast. Fast. Stop eating. Now, if you want to stop eating, you want to increase basically the elimination pathway, start taking herbs. It's going to start breaking down these foods. It's going to cause you to go into a diarrhea stage. That's what I like to call it. A lot of people say there's a difference between detoxing and cleansing. It's all the same thing. Detox just means it's more intense. Cleansing is when you do it a slow way by eating food slow. We at the end game. We are dying too fast. We trying to cleanse. Detox. Get that shit up out of you. So I would use things like slippery elm bark, slippery elm bark powder. Slippery elm bark is good, very good. The inner bark of the tree, though. Another thing is Cascara Sagrande root. Cascara Sagrande root is very, very, very good. Another one is gravel root. Gravel root is super good too. They actually are trying to discontinue gravel root, and they want to stop people from growing gravel root inside of America. That's how powerful it is. They say it causes grave disease, and they say that it causes the thyroid gland to swell up. I ain't never seen that happen. So you see that they're trying to get rid of all of our precious herbs in America, man. So yes, gravel root is very, very good for you as well. And burdock root. Not only burdock root will cause you to have an elimination process with yellow dock. It'll cause you to have an elimination pathway, but it actually builds up iron phosphate in the blood. It brings more oxygen to the blood and the molecular structure. And it's what you will call a cellular proliferator. It causes growth to the cell because it strengthens and it tones the cells. Remember, I only deal with herbs that cleanses, strengthens, and tone at the same time. I don't like to deal with isolated herbs where they only eliminate or they only tone or they only strengthen. They have to do all 3 things. And if you mix them together and find you a good ratio, I don't care what so-called ailment or disease you got. You can open up the meridian pathways. You can open up the metabolic pathways of the cells. Then there are 2 pathways. You can kick on glutathione. You can kick on peroxidase mutase. You can kick on reductase. You can kick on all these different NRF2 pathways, and them cells can start eliminating. See what I'm saying? Eye floaters. So it's eye floaters. So I have something on the site called an eye wash tincture. Use an eye wash tincture. You're going to have to go on Amazon because I don't have the eye cups yet. I'm going to get them. I'm going to try to find some in bulk, and I sell them with that. But right now I don't. So go on my site and get the eye wash tincture. The main ingredient inside of it is called eyebright and also dillberry. And you will clean your eyes out with that tincture. You're going to put a drop of it in some water and rinse your eye. That'll get them floaters out. And you got to ask yourself, why is your eyes breaking off? Is it a parasite or you're that dehydrated that you're starting to break off pieces of your iris? Yes, burdock root is burdock root is amazing. I love burdock root. My favorite herb is kala wala though. Hands down, that's one of my favorite herbs. That cleaver's leaf, man, I love me some cleaver's leaf too. I can't lie. I love cleaver's leaf. I love me some burdock. I love kala wala would be my number one. Kala wala is amazing, y'all. That's why I be trying. I get tons of that. I hide it from y'all because y'all be trying to buy it all off of me. But yeah, them my favorite ones. Cleaver leaf is amazing though. And what else? I say them are my top 3. How to help low blood cell count. You got to bring it back up. So, and we got to talk about that too. Usually your white blood cell count is super, super high when it's fighting in the body. So, you know, and you got to think about what the white blood cell count make up. It makes up the lymphatic system. These make up your T cells, your B cells. These make up the helper cells, the macrophages, phages. These things basically make up the so-called immunological system. So I wouldn't too much worry about it being low, but once you bring the body back into a homeostasis, you go on an all fruit or all raw diet that consists of fructose and glucose, you'll start seeing it balance itself out. You know what I'm saying? Now, the problem is you don't want it too low. You don't want it to be depleted because that means your immune system, your so-called immune system, what you'll call your lymphatic defense system is gone, but you don't want to overpopulate it either. I think we be worrying about the wrong thing when it comes to our blood chart. We always want to run to the WBC, the white blood chart. We need to be focused on the kidney filtration, the salt to potassium ratio. We need to be focused on the GRFI filtration of our kidneys. We need to be focused on the platelets. We need to focus on that when it's time to look at the blood chart. You know what I'm saying? So remember, the best way to cleanse the body is to bring more oxygen to the body because it's impossible for the body to kick itself into a detoxification process without oxygen being present. I'm trying to break this off as simple as possible. So if you're feeling yourself feeling sick, it means that your body have symptoms. It means your body is trying to kick itself into a detoxification mechanism. That's the moment that you're supposed to be like, hold on. The best way to get oxygen to the body is going to automatically show you the breath work. Start doing diaphragmatic nasal breaths. Get into that. Hot and cold showers is going to bring oxygen to the body. Eating foods that have high oxygen in them, like your greens, dark leafy greens, and like your fruits. Fruits have more oxygen in them than actual greens. Then get on the herbs, which is your expectorants. They're going to give you diarrhea. They're going to have mucus coming out of everywhere. You know, red light and blue light therapy. Color therapy work, Reiki healing, the healing of hands, placeboing yourself, telling yourself, I am healed, I am complete, I am healthy, I am wealthy. There's so many different methodologies. Your posture, yoga, moving around stagnant lymph, walking, running, bike riding, rebounding, jump roping, anything to get that lymphatic system to move, family. What kind of honey is the best? The best honey is Manuka honey. That's the only honey that I eat. I don't eat no other honey outside of Manuka honey. I've been a human experience since my mother passed away. Yeah, that happens sometimes. And I'm sorry to hear that about your mother, God. I'm sorry to hear that. My brother have internal bleeding. Will breathing and herbs help? It depends on, because if you have internal bleeding, you can take on things that have tannins in it that make it worse. The worst thing you can do if somebody have internal bleeding is to eat things that's going to make the blood more thinner. You need things that's going to actually coagulate their blood. You need things that's going to coagulate the blood. A blood coagulator is alfalfa sprouts. That will coagulate actual blood. You see what I'm saying? Poke root, that's a blood coagulator. It makes the blood thick, not thin. You need something that's going to actually clog the blood up. And that means if he thin like that, he's missing iron phosphate, because iron phosphate actually bring up a hemagglutinin. And hemagglutinin is actually what coagulates the blood and stop the blood from thinning out anyway. So if you are actually bleeding internally, then that means you're missing iron phosphate and you don't have hemoglobin. And without hemoglobin, you can't produce hemagglutinin. And hemagglutinin glutenates, or what you would call coagulate or glomulate the cells. So you need iron phosphate. So you need things that are high in iron. Burdock root, yellow dock root, dandelion root, or what you call the Barbus family. These things are very, very good for coagulating blood. You see what I'm saying? Other things that's good to coagulate blood, or to build up more platelets and red blood cells to get that blood actually thick. You know what I'm saying? Which will be cleaver's leaf. Cleaver's leaf is very good. For sarsaparilla is good. Chaparral is good. You see that? Blood root is good. What clothing affect the body's electricity negatively? Polyester does. Polyester. As you see, if I ain't wearing my garments, I got on a polo. And the only reason why I wear polo so much is because the polos I wear, the t-shirts and the drawers I put on is 100% cotton. Your best electrical conductivity clothes will be 100% hemp, 100% cotton, or what you would call wool. Silk does it a little bit too. Silk do lower the hertz a little bit. But when you start mixing shit with polyester and you start using like nylon and all this stuff actually messes with the hertz of your body. Your body permeates at a frequency. It connects to something called the electrical magnetic grid. These things permeate from your heart and your brain. Your heart actually permeate more fields, or what you'll call biofields, than your brain do, showing that your heart is the biggest brain in your body. Now, what sends the more melanin transmitters and the more messages is your gut brain. So the first brain will be your gut. The second brain will be your heart. The third brain will be the central nervous system. But the enteric, or what they call the intrinsic nervous system, is your first brain. And that is your autonomic nervous system, or what we call the solar plexus. And that makes sense because we are solar people. We are children of the sun. You see what I'm saying? So clothes that's going to help magnify and help emit that frequency will be 100% clothes. And that's why if you get into the Torah, the creator Yahweh told the Levitical Kohanim, which is the priest, he told them, do not wear mixed fabrics, because if you will mix your fabric, you will mix your doctrine. And if you will mix your doctrine, you will mix your perception. And if you will mix your perception, you will mix your belief. And if you will mix your belief, you will mix the way you move in reality. And this make you two-faced. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. So always do everything you do it 100%. Everything you do. 100% cotton clothes, 100% wool hats, 100% truth, 100% mindset. Even the way you work 100%. Everything you do, put your all into it. Put your all into it. Same thing with your clothes. You'll never catch me lacking. Now, there is certain things I wear that have about 2% polyester? Yeah. No, it's not. Is it polyester?
No, it's no.
It's something I wear that ain't 100%. And the reason why is because my shoulders are big and I don't want to be stiff when I'm on stage. So some of my garments is like 98% cotton or 98% wool, but most of them is 100%, y'all. So I'm not finna sit up here and act like that I'm just, good God Almighty. I got my ways too, family. What should I do with prolonged periods? Goddess, that means you have too much estrogen in what you would call phyto, or what I call cytoestrogen in your body. Get away from all soy. Soy is super, super bad for the body. Soy have phytic acids in it. Soy is it stops the iron uptake in the body. It stops zinc. It stops calcium. It literally is a mineral inhibitor to the body. So you have to get away from estrogen. Stop drinking bottled waters and sitting them in the sun. Switch over to glass bottled waters. All right, get away from all soy products and get away from all soy and what you would call yeast extracted foods. If you look on the back and they have yeast extract, get away from it because it is saturated. And guess what? Soy. Get away from that soybean. And I was just talking yesterday to the goddess, and soybeans have to be fermented at least 6 years before and turned into tempeh before it can even have some type of beneficial thing on the body. They're not doing it. They letting these deals sit out over the summer, and then they start washing them in actually mercury and aluminum containers, and they start leaching mercury and aluminum into the soil, and then they spray them with herbicides and pesticides, and they putting this shit in the USA like it's good for the body when it's not. Soy is not made for black people, and this show ain't made for black males. It turns you effeminate. It has you grow visceral fats because it has a whole lot of cyto, or what they call phytoestrogen in it. It robs the body of all the vital minerals. It is an inhibitor of actual intakes of what you would call amino acids, especially proline. It will stop proline, y'all, and proline. It will stop proline. It stops something called thyroid globulin protein. When you need the thyroid globulin protein, that's why you start seeing people that take on a lot of estrogen estrogen, they start gaining weight because it trips the thyroid and it keeps the thyroid and the parathyroid from actually functioning in the balance of homeostasis. And you're not getting aldine get converted to aldehyde. And when you don't get aldehyde and your T4s and your T3s are going 2 up or 2 down, you're either going to gain weight and lose weight. This slows down your whole entire process mechanism of your body because your thyroid is actually the gear shift of your body. So stay away from that. Another thing, you have to quit wearing them bras too, because in bras they put that bisphenol A in it, and bisphenol A is that BPA, and that actually causes all types of stuff with your period too, because it messes with your pituitary gland. See that things that go straight into your skin, your breast goes into your lymph nodes. These lymph nodes is called your axillary lymph nodes. Notice your breast is connected right up under your armpit. This is your axillary lymph nodes. These axillary lymph nodes connect to what you would call the cervical lymph nodes and go straight to your brain. So your breast is important because it absorbs everything. And that's why if you look in indigenous cultures, they didn't wear bras. They let them titties hang. They let them hang for a reason. You know, we was raised and beaten and enslaved by perverts. So a nigga see a tit, he automatically get an erection and he turned perverted in his mind, because that's what happened with the slave masters and our beautiful black women. They raped them, they brutalized them, they did all type. Sexual immorality was just high when these people came to our shores and tricked us and act like we came over here on ships when we didn't. So they perverted the mind. Transgenerational epigenetic inheritance is real. So that's why a lot of black boys got a lot of perverted mindset. That's why you start getting into a lot of family history of the black youth, and they get touched on by their uncles and by their aunties, and brothers and sisters is doing nasty things to them. I'm not trying to blame everybody else for my problems. I'm just saying the root cause stemmed from some fucking where, and it wasn't us. We was taught evil, family. And you got to dive back and see where this evil came from. And don't get me twisted. Some of the origins of this evil is from your own people, from your own ancestors, or from your own aboriginal indigenous people of their land. You see what I'm saying? So even though us and Africans are different, we are still brothers and sisters. Even though us and Asiatic, Africans is different, we are still brothers and sisters. And most of them Asiatics is us anyway, to be honest with you. So, and that's my concept. I believe in pan-aboriginalism, meaning that if you are original indigenous person of any continent, me and you are brothers and sisters. I don't believe that life only started in one particular part of the world. That shit makes no sense to me. Only 2 people was created in one specific continent, and then from that they spread and then they populated the whole earth. That don't make sense to me whatsoever. I believe that we prokaryotic cells, the prokaryotes, came from stars. This stardust came and it landed on every piece of planet Earth, and we all simultaneously evolved and civilized ourselves as so-called black people. That's what happened. All this, that all life started in one particular part of the earth, that shit sounds like nonsense. It does. Why would God create an entire earth and then only put 2 people in one point of it? What do that make? Do that make sense to you, Nabi? I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. We are all here. We've been everywhere since the beginning. Since the beginning. So Africans are our family. You see that? The Aboriginals of Australia, that's our people. They're my brothers and sisters. The Aboriginals and the Aborigines of what you would call Asia, they're my people. Some of them literally are us. But let's not act like we not the Aboriginals of Americas. Come on, man. My peoples ain't come from we came from here. This is where we came from. Shouts out to every other brother and sister and melanated prokaryotic cell on planet Earth. We family. But y'all not finna have me believe that I came from that many miles away. We can't find slave ships and everything points towards the ancient Americas being the most ancient civilization. We got tombstones here, pharaohs here. We got fucking mounds here, pyramids here. Come on, man. And that's how you know we all was brothers and sisters and we communicated, because there is a actual pyramid on every square inch of this fucking planet. There's a pharaoh on every square inch of this planet. There's hieroglyphs on every square inch of this planet. I'm just saying. All life started there. All life just started with Adam and Eve. That's it. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. See, this is why I'm hated by a lot of brothers and sisters, especially in the spiritual community. Because you just can't tell me shit no more. and tell me to have faith. You can't do that to me no more. I study too much. No, I'm not taking your word for it. I will never take your word for shit. You tell me that, the moment that my intuition, the moment that my gut instinct, the moment that these electrons and protons and neutrons start becoming in, and I get that sense, the moment that my ears start watering differently, the moment that I start hearing the information, I feel let me go research. That don't sound right. I ain't the one that tuck away feelings. I don't tuck away feelings. I don't bury mixed emotions. I don't do that. That shit sound wrong. I'm finna go prove it. I'm going to search. I'm looking up I'm doing comparative studies. I'm doing all of that. And I actually believe in Adam and Kawhi, what you call the Adam and Eve thing. I just don't believe they was the only people on earth. I don't believe that. It's impossible. It don't even make sense. You have to make it make sense to me. If it don't make sense to me, I'm finna go prove it wrong, or I'm gonna be wrong. I'm either proving it wrong or I'm gonna end up being wrong. And if I'm wrong, I will go live and I apologize. But you just can't tell me shit no more. And you can't put fear in me because of a God. You can't say, God said. No, I let my children question me. I don't believe in it. Don't question God shit. That sounds crazy. How you learn? You learn by questioning things. So you can't put that on me. Religion can't hold me back. No, I'm not into that. I'm questioning and I'm challenging everything I hear. Straight up. This is what it is. You either gonna hate me or like me. I'm not a person that you can kind of listen to. You either ain't gonna listen to my shit or you gonna be obsessed with my information. You either gonna like me and love me and be wherever I'm at, or you gonna say you hate me and you gonna stay far away. I'm not a gray area person. That's why my following is my following. They rock hard with me, and the people that don't rock hard with me, I don't hear from them because I don't please to everybody. I don't appeal to everybody. And I'm not trying to. What about impacted feces and constipation? I just talked about that, baby girl. Impacted feces and constipation. I just talked about that. Go on a fast, do a 2-day dry fast, and then after the 2-day dry fast, go on a liquid fast. And all that liquid and that hydration will break up the coagulated feces that you have in your intestines. Now, I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes we do have to do an enema. And I wouldn't do coffee beans for the enema. I wouldn't do that. If I was you, I would do something soft, something more gentle that's not going to rip up the bowel wall and rip up the rectum or the anus. I would do chamomile. Do a warm chamomile enema. That's what I suggest. Warm chamomile enema if the hydration effect don't work when you go on your liquid fast. And on top of the liquid fast, take you some herbal teas. And again, these herbal teas, Cascara Sagrande is good, slippery ambark is good, burdock root is good, gravel root is good. Mostly all the herbs that you can take actually helps you go to the bathroom. Toenail fungus. I used to have bad toenail fungus. My toes was the color of my shirt, and I am not playing. Look, and it's been over 10 years, and my fingernails still ain't all the way light. If you can look at my fingernails, these nails used to be black. Show you I came a long way. But how I did that was with sea salt, tea tree, and sodium bicarbonate without aluminum, or what you would call baking soda. Sea salt, tea tree, and baking soda. Put it in a warm bucket of water, and you're going to get a brush, and you're going to brush the shit out of your toes. You're going to get under your toes, and you're going to cut your nails down as far as you can get them without them bleeding, and you're going to get it all up in there. Once you get done doing that for about 20 minutes, what you're going to do is you're going to dry your toes off, and you're going to put oregano oil in the between your toes, and you're going to layer it on your fingernails and on your toenails. You're going to do this every night until that shit go away. I promise you it work. I healed my toes. I healed my fingernails. I had all of that, y'all. My fingernails and my toenails used to be black, family. Eczema. Eczema is herpes. But notice eczema is a skin disorder. Remember, we don't believe in dis-ease. So that means if your skin is taking a poop, that means you're constipated cellularly. So you have to go after the root cause of this so-called ailment or dis-ease. Go after the gut. Cleanse up the gut wall. Cleanse up the bowel wall. The same instructions I just gave them. Now, you do have to kill Fasciolopsis buski. This is a pleomorphic bacteria that starts off in the granule of the cell, and it pleomorphizes into 16 stages. When it gets to its 14th stage, this is when it grows out and actually becomes what you would call a fluke worm. This fluke worm is Fasciolopsis buski. If it actually goes inside of the nervous system or in your spinal cord, they call it herpes. If it go inside of what you would call the thymus gland and messes with the CD4 cells, they call it HIV. If it manifests and start laying eggs in the skin, they call it eczema, which is another sign of herpes. You see what I'm saying? If it start eating all the hemoglobin out of the cells or the red blood cells, they start calling it leukemia. If it start pooping a lot and all its poop start getting in the system, they call it septic. And then this can turn into lupus. But what you're dealing with is a pleomorphic bacteria, y'all. I'm telling you, that come from the cell. This don't come from outside of the body. This shit come from within inside of your cells, showing you that you are immortal. You are immortal, family. Straight up, from dust to dust. These things are the real signal and particle of life. They are the particle of life. You have pleomorphic cells. You ever heard of Henrietta Lacks? HeLa cells? This beautiful black woman? Yeah. They did a hysterectomy on her, took all her insides. Her cells are still alive till today. You wouldn't have something called stem cell research if it weren't for that beautiful prokaryotic cell black woman. And that's the reason why when you look at a black woman, so-called black woman, because black is the color of my shirt, she have more bacteria vaginosis, or she have more of a disruptor, her pH balance, than any other species of woman on planet Earth. That's because she's more diverse in prokaryotic cells than eukaryotic cells in her body. They have more eukaryotic cells. We have more prokaryotic cells. They have more eukaryotes. We have more prokaryotes. We have more alkalining agents and enzymes in our body. They have more acidic agents and enzymes in their body. They can break down protein. Your black ass can't. You can break down protein from some of your fruits and your vegetables, but you damn sure can't break down protein from meats because the hydrochloric acid in your stomach don't get hot enough. But theirs do. Our brains are bigger than theirs. Their hair grow to the ground. Your hair grow towards the sun. You have eomelanin, fuel melanin, neomelanin, cosmic melanin, crystal melanin, gasified melanin. They have a fragment of eomelanin. You are a different species made up of different components. You are biologically different. That's why you need to be taught by your biological likeness. See that? You know, a beautiful thing about the Bible, when it's talking about the creation of the gods, it said, God said, let us make man in our image and in our likeness. If you look up the word God, it say Elohim, which means the powers, or the powers that be. So that means that the creator universe created us to look just like it. Ain't this amazing? We are truly gods, but we are acting like another people. So if God is all powerful and God means power and power means to create, whether you're creating through ideas or whether you're creating through repopulation or whether you're creating to building businesses and brands, we are creators. You are very, very, very powerful. We are getting our powers back too. I'm seeing videos of brothers and sisters moving things, seeing different multi-dimensional levels, which I've been had them gifts. But I'm saying a lot of us is getting on worldwide now. The shift is here. The 12,000 year reign is over with. We back. You have all these unique powers. Why don't you think that your body can heal itself? How many of y'all got scars? How many of y'all head was bleeding and you don't bleed from the area no more? How many of y'all had rode on a bike, fell down and scraped your knee and can talk about it because you didn't bleed out? So we see that the outside body have the capability of regenerating cells. But then when it comes to the inside of the body, it don't. I'm just trying to show y'all that our people have been dumbed down. We're not even critical thinkers no more. We can't even sit back and think for self. Shit don't be making sense. And y'all don't be making sense with it. Make it make sense. You see what I'm saying? Make it make sense. We are not gods, only one God. Lupaz, get your weird ass off my channel. You must be one of them people. Lupaz, Lipaz, you get blocked. Dumb people get blocked today. You blocked. Boom. That's how you do that. You can be an earthling. Talking about there's only one God. If you look at the Bible comes from a Hebraic tongue. Then it went to Greek. Then from Greek, it was translated to English. If you look up the word God, it is not singular, smart ass. It is plural. It means Elohim. It has a mem, sulfate at the end. Mem means many, just like Mayim means water. There's no such thing as one water. It's many waters. When you put a mem at the end of a word, it means many. Just like if you put a lamed or what you would call a L at the beginning, it means to or from. Learn Hebrew. Learn Hebrew. God means gods. God means powers. Elohim, Elohim, Elohim. In the beginning, God's created the heavens and the earth. God said, let us make man in our image and in our likeness. God said, let the fruits be meat unto you. God's, the powers that be said, let the fruit bearing seed be meat unto you. So your true meat is the what? Fruit bearing seed. Just saying. Talking about there's only one God. God didn't even say there was only one God. It doesn't even make sense. Facts. There's most definitely gods and goddesses. Yeah, y'all better get on here and be careful. Don't get on here trying to prove me wrong, because I don't speak about nothing I can't prove anyway. Just got the 3 bitters. Is there a complete guide of doing it correctly? Go on my YouTube. I mean, it's self-explanatory on the box, Main 87. But what you can do is go on my YouTube, Yaki Awaken, on YouTube, and type in 3 bitters. And I have a whole video on there, Kawhi going through the whole thing on how to boil them, how to take them and everything. Sickle cells. What is a sickle cell? Sickle cell is when the body actually lacks hemoglobin. And since the body lacks hemoglobin, it's lacking oxygen. When oxygen is stripped from hemoglobin without carbon dioxide there to replace it, to burn ATP, the cells break off. The cell look like an octagon, right? Have 8-sided shapes to them. If you it's really look like a dectagon. It still have 12 sides and look like a damn crystal when you really look at it under a thermal microscope. You have your cells as crystals. Your cells are literally, you really have 150 trillion crystals in your body. And these crystals are called calcites, magnetites, clear quartz. All this shit is in your body naturally. They just call them cells. When you really look at them in the shape of them, these deals have like 4 to 5 dimensions to them. It's the craziest shit ever. But anyways, they under a microscope, on an electronic microscope, they look flat and they look like an octagon. Under a thermal microscope, you can actually see the crystallization in them, or what you would call the lipid transport crystals of them. But anyways, when you lack hemoglobin and lack oxygen, it makes the cells break off. And when the cells break off, it forms this sickle. Or have you ever seen what they call the man that walk around that take people's lives?
The Grim Reaper.
The Green Reaper. It looked like the Green Reaper, the Grim Reaper sickle. And what happens is, why this is so bad, it wouldn't be this bad if this didn't happen. The reason why it's so bad is because you lack an iron phosphate, which means you lack an oxygen, and the sickles start flowing through the blood, and then sometimes they don't make it to the capillaries right, so it turns sideways, and all the other blood cells try to make it through, and it can't. So a glomulation or a coagulation of blood starts to form. This deprives the body of more oxygen, it brings in fermentation, it hurts like hell, it stops nerves ending, it actually stops melanin neurotransmitter synthesizing, it stops the synthesizing of protein, everything. Dismutase, catalase, all these things are not being produced to bring the body more oxygen. And this is where you get all your problems from. So we have to see what the main issue is. The main issue is that the body is lacking oxygen and the cell is lacking oxygen. But the reason why the cell is lacking oxygen is because the cell is lacking iron phosphate. So you have to bring iron phosphate back into the body. All the sickle cell anemia clients that we have helped reverse this body trying to heal itself, because remember, it's a symptomology. It's always been the adrenal glands have been down. In fact, all these people have had iron phosphate in their body, but it was turned into bilirubin because the liver and the actual adrenals was not utilizing the mineral. So if you cut the adrenals on and if you kick the adrenals on, now you're able to not only utilize your sugars, but you're able to utilize your minerals in your steroids, because that's what the adrenal glands is for. It's for your utilization process. So now you can utilize all of these different bioflavonoids and all these different mineralizations in the body, and it can uptake the minerals. Now hemoglobin is now attaching again to the cells, and these cells are not sickle no more. And you can start getting proper blood flow. And with proper blood flow, since the blood is literally the kitchen of the body, you can feed the cells all the different minerals and all the amino acids and all the bioflavonoids and things it need. So you have an adrenal problem, brother. You have an adrenal problem and you have a liver problem. So you need to cleanse your liver and your adrenals. What I usually suggest for people that have sickle cell anemia, I always tell them to get my GeoGenetic level 2 package from off the website. The website is actually pinned in the comment board, GeoGenetic level 2, and you're going to eat things that is high in iron phosphate, and you most definitely need to be breathing. Now, one particular case of sickle cell anemia, the oxygen levels was so low, we did do a O3 sonotherapy. We did O3 sonotherapy, which means ozone sonotherapy, where they put on an ozone sauna blanket and we let them get that O3 ozone layer with them. It was 30 minutes twice a week. So they did an hour a week. They did that on the Geogenetic level 2 package, and we put them on a heavy iron and selenium, because you can't take in too much iron without selenium, because that's called isolated chemistry and it will imbalance the minerals in your body. But we did iron and selenium. We put them on a heavy iron selenium diet, which things is like lamb quarters. Lamb quarters is high in iron. Kale, dinosaur kale with that, very high in iron. You have a bunch of, all of your mushrooms are high in iron, and fructose. Ain't this crazy? Mushrooms got fructose. We got to talk about that. I'm just saying. And a lot of your fruits have iron in it too. So we put them on that high green juice diet with the ozone sonotherapy, with the Geogenetic 2. And I believe it took like 4 months and they didn't have it no more. So there you go. I just told you what food that was higher iron phosphate. I just named them. Cut out meat. Most meats are acidic. No, all meats are acidic. There's not such thing as a non-acidic meat. Every meat you eat is acidic. It's full of proteins. Look, look, you have to make it simple, right? Meat is full of what? Proteins. Protein is made of what? Complex amino acid structures. When complex amino acid structures are broken down, they're broken down into simple amino acids. When simple amino acids is metabolized, they break down into amino acids. When those amino acids is broken down, they're broken down into what? Acids. See that? Look at the last word. So when you eat things that's high in protein, that's a highly acidic forming diet. You see that? Same thing with complex sugars. When you talk about sucrose, you talk about dextrose, you talk about maltose. We stay away from that. We want disaccharides and monosaccharides. Sometimes disaccharides, which means two, just like carbon dioxide. You see that? Carbon monoxide. Your dies is two. Mono is one. When you start getting to poly, that means many. That's more than two. Polysaccharides, many sugars, disaccharides, two sugars molecules, monosaccharides, one sugar molecule. Then you get into the names of the monosaccharides. Glucose, one monos. Fructose, one monos. Galactose, one monos. These are called simple saccharides or simple sugars. Anything that's complex to a prokaryotic cell is too much. Remember, we descend, well, I ain't gonna say descend, I mean we come down from. We ascend from prokaryotic cells. You see that? We evolve into eukaryotic cells. Then you start seeing the evolution and the creation process of other people after us, who really created other people, when you get deep into the science. So all meats is full of acids. Same thing with beans. Beans are seeds when you get done with them. Beans break down into two categories. Well, actually three. They're either an egg, you see that? Either an ovary or it's a seed. Beans break down into three categories. It's either a freaking egg that's full of nitric acid, seeds that's full of nitric acid. You see that? Or it's an ovary of a plant. That's what beans are. That's why you have to sprout your beans before you eat them. Let the baby come out. You see that? Never eat it when it's in its embryonic stage, because it's full of acids, because acids is used to function shit. It's used to grow things. That's why when you want to grow soil, what you put in there? Nitric acid. That's why they use chicken poop, horse manure, goat poop, cow's poop, manure to help cultivate the land. What's in the poop? Nitric acid. When it's in its nitric stage, it's in its growth stage. That's why you have to eat fruit when it's in its ripen stage. All the nitrates is out of it. We already getting a lot of nitrogen through the air by breathing. We don't need no more, because it's nitric acid, nitric oxide. You see that? That's the oxidation of nitric. That's why true healers know biochemistry, real biochemistry too, not the made up biochemistry. Because I be hearing people on here just making up their own biochemistry. And don't get me wrong, I like to make up my own words sometimes. Sometimes you might hear me say carbon myoxide. And the reason why I'm saying myoxide is because it's a carbon that's a mono that didn't make it to its dioxide phase and is stuck in that free radical. So I call it a myoxide. But it still makes sense when I say it. So you get what I'm saying? So I still be, I'm just saying. I be making up my own definitions and stuff sometimes. Because they ain't came up with a word for it yet, not be. So I got to call it some shit. Right. I'm finna get up out of here. I talked about lupus earlier. Do you sell the Gorilla Mix online? I haven't sold. We trying to get the Gorilla Mix done. I don't think I'm gonna wait on the actual on the people to do it though. So hopefully it'll be online. It'll be on the website in 2 months. Acid reflux. I'm gonna do acid reflux and then I'm gonna get off of here. Acid reflux is when you have something called a cardiac sphincter, which is a door. So you have your mouth go into the back go down the esophagus go down to your stomach. Between the esophagus and your stomach, you have a flap or a door. It's called a cardiac sphincter. The cardiac sphincter, the reason why it's called cardiac, because it's close to the heart. The reason why it's called a sphincter, because the sphincter acts as a door. It opens and closes. What acid reflux is basically when the acid or the hydrochloric acid starts coming up because the door is not closed. The reason why the door is not closing is because you lack magnesium. Magnesium relaxes the muscle tissues to close that door. Another thing to help you out, start laying on the left side. Left side. Make sure that your stomach is actually faced the right side. Because if not, then the actual cardiac sphincter and the tube of the fungus of the stomach will go down and you will start leaking all of that acid into the esophagus and it'll start burning the hell out of your throat. So you need magnesium. Now, if you need magnesium, that means you need calcium. So you need magnesium, calcium, and zinc. These three go together. I call them the triplets. Them is what you need. You can get them from your fruits and your vegetables. And you also need to be laying right. And you need to quit eating things that's going to make the hydrochloric acid in your stomach start acting up the way it's acting up. Usually it act up when you're eating hot things. You're eating mucostimulants like cayenne pepper and chili peppers and stuff like that. Don't eat nothing hot. And stay away from carbonated waters and shit. That shit make it hot. These things can get bad because then it can start breaking up the stomach. It can start messing up the microvilli in the stomach or in the intestines. And then you get leaky gut. So how to heal that is magnesium, not only magnesium, but selenium, zinc, and copper. Lay on your left side. Make sure you're eating warming things that don't irritate the actual hydrochloric acid in your stomach, like your melon family. Watermelon is very hydrative. It don't cause a lot of acids to break it down. Honeydew melon is very hydrative to the body. It don't causes a lot of acid to break these things down. You see what I'm saying? Getting to the melons and the berries. It don't cause a lot of acids. Some berries, because blueberries and blueberries and mulberries can cause some acid to come up. So just stick to your melons. Go on a mono melon fast. Watermelon, honeydew melon, what else? Cantaloupe melon, things like that. Melon fast. And then as far as herbs, you can actually get on my website. I would do, it's called the Cardiotonic Kit. It comes with these tonics. It's very, very good and full of all of the minerals that I was just talking about. The Cardiotonic Kit. That's what you would need. I'll do one more. You think I should do one more, Hanabi?
Go on and do one more.
One more. Well, let me see. I talked about that already. How can we learn what you know? I just talked about in the beginning of my video. Oh, this is a good one too, kidney stone. But in July, the classes should be ready. And my book, How Healing Illusion We Call Disease, will be out in July. And it literally, everything I just mentioned and more is in the book. Another one, a good one is I need help with kidney stones. Kidney stones come from something called oxalates. All right. Oxalate is when calcium. So the body have remember, the body have a way of healing itself. So the lymphatic system and the mucosal membrane have monosaccharide sugars in them, but it also have calcium in them that get stripped from the bone or get took from the bone by way of something called the parathyroid. So say if you have acids in your body, right? So if you have acids in your body, what happens is the body have the first line of defense. The first line of defense is what you would call the mucosal membrane. The mucosal membrane is a part of the lymphatic system. So the mucosal membrane acts as a fire extinguisher. It goes through the body and it covers up the acids to keep the acids from burning the tissues for inflammation won't set in. Well, what will happen is the parathyroid will alert the bone calcium matrix to release actual calcitonin. Calcitonin creates calcium. Calcium then comes in with mucus. Mucus is this slimy shit. It's slimy as hell, sticky as hell. And then now you got this sticky substance mixed with calcium and mixed with uric acid. These three mixed together creates what you would call stones. So if you get rid of the acids, you would get rid of the stones because the mucus, the calcium wouldn't even came through the mucus in the first place. Now, you just called it stones. Stones means calcification. Notice the calcification of the pineal gland. Gout is the calcifications of the bone spurs in the foot or in the joints and the fingers. Calcification comes from calcium. So even though calcium is trying to heal the body by buffering out acids, because that's the whole purpose of calcium is to buffer out acids. If it's too much of it and you never get the acids out, it turns into calcification. You like the way I explained that? I like the way that was it. I like that. I like that. So that's what it is. So if you're trying to get rid of that, you most definitely need to go on an all liquid diet for about, I do it for 3 days. And after that, go all fruits. And you're going to need, because you don't even need a geogenetic for that. If you only dealing with stones, you need the kidney and adrenal kit. The kidney and adrenal kit, and get an extra pack of my 3 bitters off the website. The website is www.yakiawaken.com, which is pinned in here. And I also will put it in the comment board. I went in too hard to put this on YouTube, huh?
Yeah.
I did.
One, two things. That was it.
Damn, I'm finna have Jay go through this so I can post it. Well, I can't post this on YouTube. I'm posting on Facebook. I'm gonna have Jay go through this and blot out what I was talking about before I could post this on YouTube. They fuck around and take it off of here too, because I was going in too hard. Yeah. But anyways, peace, love, light, and healing. Peace to the guys, peace to the earth. I'm gonna see y'all in Atlanta, Georgia. Yeah, I know I say Atlanta. I don't know why St. Louis people talk like that. Atlanta. At Atlanta. I'm gonna see y'all in Atlanta, Georgia on June the 3rd. We're gonna be at Clark University of Atlanta. Make sure you click the link in the bio to get the tickets. Look, beat me there. Don't meet me there. The actual backstage passes and the all access passes all rented out, so get them real quick. I got an amazing presentation for y'all. We bringing herbs. I'm bringing seeds. Now gonna make sure I don't forget the seeds this time. If I can give away y'all some seeds for y'all start growing your own food. What else? You got anything else you need to say to them?
No, we good. We'll see them in Atlanta.
We'll see y'all in Atlanta, and all the other dates will be rolling in after that. Be checking out for the book in July, y'all. Be checking out for the classes in July, and just be looking on the website for new dates. It will be an event page on the website very, very soon. Consultations will be back up within a week or two. I love y'all. You need any herbs whatsoever, anything you need, just holler at the website, order off of there, and, get at us. There's a lot of people pretending to be me.
Yes.
It's a lot of Nigerians faking it. They got dread wigs and they writing a permanent marker on their head. So if they can't look, if it's not through the website, it's not me. I will not follow you. I only follow 5 people. I will not befriend you on media. I don't friend request nobody. All of my links to all of my social medias are actually in my bio. Click on my link tree. That's where you can follow me, family. I love you, family. Peace, love, light, and healing. Peace to the gods. Peace to the goddesses, or what I call earths. See y'all soon. Peace.